because the Supreme Court continues to milk it on the release of this ruling, that actually could be a good thing for the overall tariffs. In other words, because they're not actually releasing the ruling, that actually might mean that they're actually going to keep the tariffs in place, which is actually a huge, huge win for the president, a huge win for the tariffs, and a huge win for potential Americans that may be subject to get that $2,000 dividend payment that everybody needs right now. And again, they're suspecting $2,000 per person for low and middle income people, as we've talked about extensively in other videos. Anyway, let's pop this article up right here, right now. Feel free to read through the details of this. Some pretty interesting stuff here. And you can also see the potential timeline that they are talking about as far as the potential release of this ruling. Now, drop a comment down below. When do you think we're going to get it? Throw a date out there, throw a week out there, throw a month out there. But we know this much. It's not a matter of, are we going to get a ruling? Yeah, we're going to get a ruling. It's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. Now, like I said, a lot of people were suspecting we were going to get the announcement on January 14th, which was a Wednesday. They all suspected we were going to get the ruling on January 9th. We didn't get it either of those days, right? However, as you can see here in this article, just based on some information, we could see anywhere between sometime the end of January to early February, or, as also indicated here in this article, they say that with big decisions like this, a lot of times they wait until maybe even May or June to make very important decisions like this. We could be in this for a lot longer. And again, like I said a minute ago, this is not a matter of if, okay? Again, every so often I see comments down below saying they're never going to rule. Yeah, they will. They will. Absolutely, they will. It's either yes or no. They will rule on these things one of these days here. We just don't know when, okay? Now, let's talk through some of the scenarios here really quickly. And again, drop your comments down below. I would love to see when you think we're going to get this ruling, okay? As far as my guess, honestly, I'm not sure. I really don't know. I'm not even sure what to guess here, right? For some part of me, I just really don't think it's going to be the end of January, early February. I just really don't think it's going to be that soon here. I think they're going to draw this out further. As far as after that, honestly, just not really sure, okay? But anyway, okay, so let's talk about some of the scenarios here. If they strike down the tariffs, what happens here? Does that mean the end of the $2,000 payment that the president has promised? Well, okay, let me take that back. Technically, the president has not promised it. As far as my knowledge, I have not heard him say the words, I promise a $2,000 payment. I have not heard those words out of him. He has talked about it many, 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 many times, which I have multiple video clips here on the channel of him talking about. I have all those videos highlighted here on the channel. Feel free to scroll back and check them out over the last couple months here, going back to basically, early-ish, middle of November of last year. I have multiple clips here on the channel highlighting him talking, okay? Anyway, but if they strike down the tariffs, the administration has already made it very clear. They will reinstate the tariffs in other ways. So they'll be able to replicate this money in other ways if they strike these down. Okay, that's option one. Now, option two would be is if they leave the tariffs in place, again, like I said earlier, this could potentially be a huge win for the president, for the tariffs, and maybe even all of us as well, if we were to get that $2,000 payment. Now, I'm going to say this, if they leave the tariffs in place, it's a win for the president. It's a win for the country as a whole because they're getting about $1 billion a day in tariff duties, $1 billion a day, about $30 billion a month, and again, roughly estimating about $360-ish billion a year right now, okay? Not a bad income. How could you live off of $1 billion a day? I think I could, right? I could easily do that, right? $1 billion a day. I don't think we could spend that. $1 billion a day. I don't know. My first stop would probably be Vegas. Just saying, okay? I think that'd be super fun, right? I think it'd get super old, though, after a little while. I'd be like, this is so fun. I'm maxing out everything, and it's not even fun anymore, right? Anyway, it'd be super fun for like a little while. Anyway, okay, so the point being is that if they leave the tariffs in place here, again, huge presidential win, huge win for the tariffs, huge win for the country. But does that guarantee a win for us, the people, as far as the $2,000? Not at all. Again, not at all. just because they've talked about potentially sending out this $2,000 tariff dividend, $2,000 stimulus check, again, whatever you want to call it, does not necessarily mean that it happens for sure, all right? They can talk about it all they want, but just because they talk about it does not guarantee that it's going to be coming, okay? The president has said multiple times they're going to send it sometime in the middle of the year or so, give or take a little bit, but doesn't guarantee it, no promises, right? But still, we'll have to see, okay? So there's a lot of different moving parts here, and it almost seems like the Supreme Court may be milking this out on purpose because they know, regardless of what happens here, there's probably going to be some massive ramifications, whether they stay or whether they